Dunkirk is directed by Christopher Nolan and tells the true story of soldiers being evacuated from Dunkirk during World War II and the trials and tribulations they went through in doing so. And that's what I'll say about the plot. Alright, so Dunkirk was a very highly anticipated movie for many. For me, not so much. I was looking forward to it, but I was a little skeptical because I know the story. And you can summarize the story in really one sentence. I'm not going to say it here in case you don't know the story of Dunkirk. The general gist of how everything goes. So I was a little worried how they could turn that into a 2.5-hour movie until I found out that this movie was only an hour and 45 minutes long, which gave me more confidence in Christopher Nolan, and the great first reactions were really boosting my anticipation for this movie. And I think Dunkirk really delivered. Dunkirk is one of the best movies of 2017 so far. It's one of Nolan's best movies in a while, probably his best since The Dark Knight. I think Dunkirk is an intense, epic war movie with really good handheld action sequences. Not all handheld, but a lot of them are handheld, and it adds to the intensity, and the beautiful cinematography really helps. This is a very period piece-like movie, like war movie. Obviously, it's World War II, and you really feel that. And I think that they conveyed the sense of urgency really well. Because this movie is very intense. Like, there's a lot of crap going on in this movie. There's 3 different storylines, and that could really, like, not work in the wrong hands. But Nolan does it beautifully. I think the transfer between each story is really flawless and just very natural. It doesn't feel really abrupt. I think the way Nolan handled the story was very good. It was very intriguing. The action sequences are both brutal but beautiful in the way they're shot, and the score by Hans Zimmer is one of his best. It's fantastic. Like, he adds like the time or like the ticking clock sound into his score, and that's really bombastic. It's really loud, but you also have this ticking clock, and it's very effective and very intense, well manipulative. But it really, really works. And as I said, the sense of urgency is very well conveyed through very tight pacing and editing, which is a movie like this really needs. Otherwise, it can get really dull really quick. Because it is a very simple story when you get down to it, but they make it seem like much more larger than kind of is, like it was for these men. These men, like, it's a lot bigger to these men than it is to us, because we weren't there, and I think that really, they conveyed that really well through this movie, because if you read about this story, it's not the biggest thing, in World War II, but it is an important part, and it is a, interesting story. It just, there's not that much to it, but they do add quite a bit, and the performances are very good, especially from, Harry Styles and Mark Rylance were both very good, I think. Both don't have a ton to do. No one in this movie really has a lot to do, but those are 2 standouts. I actually really dug Harry Styles in this movie. Tom Hardy's very good. The flight scenes are rather intense. Once again, with that epic score going on in the background, and it's really good, really big scope to it. But I also really liked small moments on. Like the fisherman's boat, fisherman played by Mark Rylance. There's some quiet and subdued moments that are really good, but most of the time it's a really loud, bombastic movie. And as for problems with this movie, I think the action sequences, while beautiful, like, I love the action in this movie. All the actors have like the same haircut and same hair color. So it is a little hard to tell who everyone is, not because it's poorly filmed, it's just because there's a lot going on in the scene, and they all look the same, so it's a little hard to tell who's who, and that was a little distracting. You get it in the end, but it takes a little bit to figure out. As for other problems, I do have one more. It does meander a little in like the second act for like a 5-10 minute period. It got a little tad bit dull, but it picks up very quick with another really fantastic action sequence, which, yeah, this movie does in spades. Like, action is top notch, as I said. This is a movie to experience on a big screen. I saw it on the RPX screen, a normal 35 millimeter. Sadly, I really wanted IMAX 70 millimeter, but whatever. The RPX screen is still really, really big, so that added to it. This is a movie to see on the big screen. It is a beautiful cinematic experience. I don't think it's perfect, as I said. I had a couple problems with the movie. It's not my favorite movie of the year, probably. I don't think it is, at least. I don't really have a favorite right now, but anyway. But I do think it is one of Nolan's best, and is one of the best of the year. I'm going to give Dunkirk an A-. It isn't perfect, like some may claim, which is fine, but I think it's great. I loved it still. I think it is a really great movie that definitely should be experienced on the big screen, of course. Alright, so for future reviews, I might be seeing Atomic Blonde on Wednesday, along with Valerian this weekend. I'm really, really excited to see Valerian. That movie looks right up my alley. But yeah, so that's my review for Dunkirk, so peace.